Good afternoon. I'm sorry, I'm listening to Wyatt. And I gotta cut him off because he's saying stuff directly to me and it makes me want to respond. So let me take this out. Let me cut that off. Y'all don't support the exit. All right, there we go. All right, hold on, y'all. I'm getting ready. Oh, Robert Willis. Good afternoon. Jerica Hola. Anthony Prosser, good afternoon. I wanted to respond to Wyatt so bad. He was talking directly to me, and I was like, I gotta go live, but I'm better. And I was trying to type real quick and go live, and trying to type on an iPhone with your little fingers. It don't work all that well, and I can't respond. He was firing stuff off, and I was trying to fire stuff back, and it loses something. And then, normally I would have just picked up the phone and called him and been like, Wyatt. And, we'd have had the conversation, but I couldn't do it. Because people. I don't understand. Breathe. Good afternoon. It's the afternoon experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. I'm with you probably till about 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock, I got to get out of here. Maybe till about 4:50, because I'm actually supposed to be somewhere at 5 o'clock. It takes me about 10 minutes. That means I should leave about 15 minutes early, because it'll take me about 5 minutes to grab everything and get out the house. And then it takes me about 10 minutes to get there. So maybe till about 4:45. 4:45. All right. 513-717. I didn't have time to get everything together. Damn it, Wyatt. But y'all know I like a good conversation. Somebody said, what was he talking about? He was talking about that sexy red chick. And he was mischaracterizing some of the things that I said yesterday. And I would have dealt with it, but we'll see what happens. Oh, let's see. As usual, come on in. Say good afternoon to me. I would greatly appreciate it. Say good afternoon to me. I would greatly appreciate it. Tell me where you're checking this out from. And then we'll go from there. So let's get to the good afternoons. I might actually address a couple of the things Wyatt said, specifically questions he specifically asked to me. I probably will. And then we'll move on to some other stuff, all right? But let me get to the good afternoons, because this is my favorite part of the show. Good afternoon, Gloria, good afternoon. We got Maria checking in, North College Hill. Good afternoon, Maria. We got Terry checking in from downtown. Good afternoon, Terry. Good afternoon. Got Carolyn checking in. She says she ain't telling y'all where she checking in from. Ain't none of your damn business. She didn't say all of that. She just didn't type it up there. Good afternoon, Carolyn. Got Shirley checking in, Westchester. Good afternoon, Shirley. Got Peachy checking in. Good afternoon, Peachy. Another one said ain't none of your damn business. We got Diane in the house checking us out from Gulf Manor. Good afternoon, Diane. Got Yo Underwood checking us out from Jesus Christ, JC. I don't know exactly how that works, but good afternoon, yo. Got the Black Lion checking us out. He's talking to somebody named Tony. I don't know who that would be, but good afternoon, Black Lion. Dwayne checking us out from Mount Airy. Good afternoon, Dwayne. Good afternoon. Got Samuel in the house. Good afternoon, Samuel. Quintano in the house. Good afternoon. Jericho want to know what was he talking about. I had to breathe. I had to breathe. Erica. Erica, good afternoon. Erica checking us out from Reading. All right, Reading and Erica in the house. Diane says, good Friday afternoon. Yes. Anthony wants to know why I keep shortchanging y'all. Hey, gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta do what you gotta do. Y'all let me get fired. That's right, I'm blaming y'all. Y'all could have put together a campaign, like a letter writing campaign, said we gonna boycott the station, and I not called, not listen, none of that kind of stuff. Been down there with signs picketing. Y'all didn't do none of that. None of that. So now I have to work outside of this and do this on the side for free. So, when you got to outside work, you got to do what you got to do. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I didn't expect anybody to do that because y'all didn't even know how to call in or leave a message and say, we want Raven to have her own show. So I can't expect a whole lot from y'all. Y'all was calling in saying, I heard the messages. Y'all was calling in saying, Emanuel told us to say that we want Raven to have a show. Emanuel told us to call in and say that we want Raven to have a show. Why would you say Emanuel told us to do it? So at that point, I knew y'all don't know how to do this stuff. So there was no chance. Y'all would have been out there with picket signs. Emanuel said to picket. So no, that's all right. Let's see. Diane checking in from Gulf Manor. Samuel checking in from Sycamore Township. Keisha checking in. Good afternoon, North College Hill. Good afternoon, Keisha from North College Hill. Brenda Fairfield in the house. Happy Friday. She says, happy Friday, Brenda. Peachy says she checking in from Coleraine. All right, Coleraine. Well, good afternoon again, Peachy. We got Mike Ballard checking in from Woodlawn. Good afternoon, Mike. Got Preston checking in from the barbershop. I'll be there soon. I'm well overdue. Myosha checking in, thinking about quitting early today. You got enough money? Fuck that job. You got enough money. Now, you know that ain't true. Some people are like, there's never enough money. The one thing that rich people want more is more money and power. So don't quit early. Keep working. Kim, good afternoon. Bond Hill in the house. Regina says, good afternoon. Anthony says, where's Anthony Holloway? No, that person is just, and it entertains me because you're a random anonymous person. It's always the random anonymous people that talk the most reckless. Like, I get a lot of criticism, and I'm okay with criticism. I get insults. Y'all know, people talk about the hair, the hairline, whatever, all of that stuff. I get a lot of insults. I get a lot of criticism. I'm all right with insults and criticism. It's always the people who are too scared to be known who talk real reckless. And I like to talk reckless back to them. Because what's going to happen? Nothing. There's some anonymous person. Right, man, you're trying to fight. The last thing Emanuel ever want to do for the rest of his life is get into a physical altercation. Like on the street. I won't even get into that. On the street. Last thing I ever want to do is get into a physical altercation. But, like if not Yo Underwood, because I don't see no picture on his either. If Preston, because I see a picture on Preston. If Preston was like, hey, I'm coming to you from the barbershop, which is where you need to be, Emanuel, I wouldn't be like, won't you say that to my face then? Step to me. Come on. I wouldn't do that. But some random person, I'm liable to say anything to them because it amounts to nothing. It's like talking to the air. And you only do it, when you feel like it and you want to have fun with it. So that's it. He's not here. He'll never be here. He wasn't when I was on the radio. He didn't call the radio. He just typed reckless stuff. I don't care. Let's see. Y'all saying Garrison. Okay. Yeah. Fame in the house says, good morning. Black Lion is the best caller ever. We are enriched and ennobled when he calls. That is E-N. I wish I could make this bigger. I'm 52, so, I'm beginning to, I can't read stuff that's here. It's got to be here and then here, and it's moving out to here, and eventually I'll need longer arms to read stuff. Yeah, that's where I am now. Ray Walk says, good afternoon, everybody from Hamilton. Good afternoon, Ray Walk. Samuel says, Dave Stinger said you were done. That daggone Dave Stinger. Jeannie says, that segment is so stale. Okay. Diane says they didn't help Raven at all. No, they did. Black Lion says, I asked you, did you want me to turn up? You said, F that job. And I said, okay. That's how, man. I'm just being silly about it. Quintano says, yeah, you have to recognize where everybody was at the time. Where were they? That was long after shutdowns and everything. So that's no excuse. Ray Walk says, you know what? You actually kind of got a point. We ain't S, can you? Oh. Y'all are. Y'all the best. Jeannie, good afternoon and happy Friday. Good afternoon, Jeannie. Myosha says, I feel guilty as hell that I wasn't outside the buzz picketing in support of my friend. You could have hired picketers. That would have been okay. You know how they talk about they hire crisis actors? You could have hired picketers. You yourself. It probably paid them a nice day rate. Had about 75 people out there every day getting paid. You would have paid them because I know you got that kind of money. Andrea, good afternoon from Golf Manor. Golf Manor is in the house today. Good afternoon, Andrea. Ben says, you say a lot of, I'm not reading his stuff till he apologized. He lied on me. I don't like that. That I don't like. Don't lie on me. Y'all see how he slandered me even after I said I should have been boycotted on his behalf. I'm a better friend to this dinger than he is to me. Why I gotta be all that? Tria says, hello, friends from Columbia Township. Good afternoon, Tria. Good afternoon. Anthony says, keep my head on a swivel in traffic. I don't want to get caught in traffic. That is terrible. Something you almost forgot about, Garrison. Jacqueline says, do you need glasses? I do. And I don't know why I don't just go to the eye doctor, get a prescription, and get some glasses. I could do it. I got, insurance, eye coverage. I think my when I go to the eye doctor, my copay would be like $25 or $30. I could do it. I don't know why I don't do it. I feel like I see just fine. It's just when I'm reading stuff up close. So I just hold it out like that. Maybe once, this next step, when I can't hold it out far enough, then I'll be like, okay, let me go get some glasses. Because I can't make my arms grow longer, but I can get glasses. Is there a lightweight hazing for the new producers or radio host? No. Daryl says, I see you clocked out from your trolling shift. I wasn't trolling. I was being 100% legitimately. See, people don't think about, I get into it, Daryl. But I wasn't trolling. I was being 100% serious. What did I say that seemed like it was? Well, hold on. Sometimes, some of the time I was trolling. When I was talking about impeach Biden because his dog bit some people, I was trolling. When I was talking about, oh no, Hunter Biden had a motorcade, we should impeach Joe Biden, I was trolling. Stuff like that. But the other stuff I was saying, I wasn't trolling at all. I was being 100% serious. And if you think about it, if people talk about facts over feelings, if you really think about it, facts would tell you, you might feel something, you might feel it deep down in your soul. You might feel like what you feel like is factual, but it's not. It's your feelings. And if we gonna claim facts over feelings, shouldn't we kind of stick to it? 75 people. Ain't that a B word? You know, be cussing. How much money you think I got? You really want me to answer? I mean, you got more money than Lincoln. Princess Flower. She says, hey, everyone. Good afternoon, Princess Flower. Mary. She says, hello, everyone. White Oak. Good afternoon, Mary. Sean in the house. Good afternoon, Sean. Miss Pittsburgh in the house. Good afternoon, Miss Pittsburgh. Jeannie says, I can't see further out. I'm telling you, once it get, I can still hold, I can read this. I can read this just fine all the way out here. Now, once I got to get it all the way out there to read it, it's time for glasses. But until then, I'm actually here. I'm good here. So I still got all of this space left before I need glasses. See that? It's a lot of space before I need glasses. What Medicaid do you have that your copay is $25? I don't have Medicaid, bro. I pay for insurance. I don't know what y'all think. I don't have a traditional job where I, punch a clock or whatever. I don't have a traditional job in that way, but I work on a regular basis. Thank God. And, I pay for insurance and all of that good stuff. So, yeah. McConnell says, what's up? About to leave work. Fairfield. All right, Fairfield in the house. Stephanie says, hi, everyone. Good afternoon, Stephanie. Let's see. Rachel. Hi, everyone. Have a good weekend. Stay cool. Good afternoon. We got Logic Slayer in the house. Good afternoon, Logic Slayer. We got John in the house. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to you as well. We got Jason in the house. An optometrist somewhere just flipped their desk over. I'm telling you, I'm coming to you, but I got this much space. Let me look. Yeah, I can still, about here. I can see that. And of course, out there, I can see it. So I got that much space. Be patient. Let's see. Stephanie, good afternoon. Westwood in the house. Obamacare is okay. That's right. Hey, they offer insurance out there on the exchange. All you gotta do is get on there and pay for some insurance. It's really not that. I think I'm actually paying less now for insurance than I was paying at the radio station. And it's better coverage. If y'all ain't looked into, the Obamacare, the health exchanges, look into them. All right. I think that's about it. That's all of the hellos so far. Oh, wait a minute. Crystal getting in just under the wire. Good afternoon, Emanuel and everyone checking in from home. Bond Hill. All right. We get off at 2 p.m. on Fridays. Hey, you can't beat that. Let me ask this question. And this is nothing I really wanted to talk about. Are a lot of y'all still working from home? Is that a thing? Like, I know a lot of companies during the height of the coronavirus pandemic, or the perceived height of the pandemic, And when the shutdowns were going on, they sent a lot of people home. And they basically said, hold on a second. I don't know what's happening there. Go there, and there. Mute that. All right. And hold on. I'm still not. Okay, take that off and put that on. There we go. And we can do that. All right. But they sent a lot of people home for the shutdowns, and they never really brought them back. Have they started bringing people back in? Or are a lot of people still working from home? Samuel says he's hybrid. Samuel's hybrid, 3 in, 2 out. Okay. All right. Crystal says, I'm not, my daughter is. Okay. Carolyn is on a 4-day a week. Andrea, 2 days out, 3 days in. Stephanie, daughter, still working from home. Myosha. But some of this is privilege, but I'm never going back into an office again. Chilling in sweats, a tee, and my fuzzy slippers that Mr. Jones always makes fun of. All right. Daryl says, I can't work from home. My job consists of hand out lab testing. Okay. Erica works from home. Yeah. Home 3 days a week, in the office 2 days a week. Jeannie's still working from home. However, I'm required to go into the office 1 day per week. Okay. Regina, 1 day in office, the rest of them at home. Do y'all like that better? Is it, look, I always felt like if you could do your job at home effectively, why not do your job at home? I never understood, when the companies were like, well, we about to have to start bringing people back. And I was thinking, why? If they've been effectively working from home. And, I know one company said, we haven't missed a beat since people had to go and work from home. But we're going to bring everybody back. And I thought, why? You're going to end up spending more money. And they still have to pay all those lights on, the electricity, air conditioning, all of that kind of stuff. All of that stuff costs money. Let people pay that stuff themselves working at home. Save money on gas and get the job done and then have time. Because, look, I've always felt like when you're at work, I guess I'll depend on your job. But when you're at work, you do what you do. But at work, a whole lot of that time, you're not just working constantly for 8 hours or 7 hours or whatever. A lot of times you're not. But if I could do what I need to do at home in 4 hours and just boom, knock it out, get it done, and that be that, why not? I always felt like it was sort of a power dynamic thing. But, you going to come in. You coming in and you going to do what we say you going to do because I always felt that way. And then you don't have to worry about workplace drama. You got to sit next to Linda. Linda got issues, or Linda always talking about her husband, or, her no good baby daddy, or, whatever. Her grandchildren you don't want to hear about. You and Linda have a falling out. And we know that don't work good for your man at home if you got one. That don't work good for him because then you come home, you telling him about Linda, and he caught between you and Linda. Y'all really don't know. I know we've discussed that before, but if she come home talking about Linda, just kind of nod. Just nod. Don't offer no advice. Don't take Linda's side. Don't ask for clarification. Just nod. And sometimes when when she telling you about the bad stuff that Linda did, You're saying, damn, Linda, bad Linda. When she telling you about the stuff like what she want to do or how she feel, you're right, baby. You're right. You don't say that. Just, and that indicates I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm against Linda. I'm against Linda. I'm with you. I'm with you. Linda, bad. You, good. But you don't have to deal with that if you're working at home. Well, not as much. Linda still send out emails that make her mad, okay? Linda still be sending out their damn emails and say, who the hell Linda thinks she is sending this email out? She ain't gonna talk to me like that. It's an email, relax, calm down. But anyway. Shirley says, I'm more productive at home. When I'm in the office, everyone wants my help. Carolyn says, too many distractions in the office. Okay. All right. Daryl says, working my shift. It's like working at home. I watch movies, play my music, go home for lunch, dinner. After an hour and a half, no managers on my shift. It's lovely. Oh, all right. All right. Mayo says, I'm not a people person, so I love it that it's just me in the bunker. That is a thing. That is a thing. That is a thing. Tria, I was going to get to that. But since you brought it up, old girl been arrested. Oh no, let me see if I can get this thing to working right. Let's go here. And hopefully I don't have a Lincoln Ware meltdown on here. All right. And see if everything works.
Hoover police detectives obtained warrants for the arrest of Carly Russell through the Hoover Municipal Court for her actions related to faking her kidnapping and subsequently making false statements to detectives as they investigated this case. Her decisions that night created panic and alarm for the citizens of our city and even across the nation as the concern grew that a kidnapper was on the loose using a small child as bait. Numerous law enforcement agencies, both local and federal, began working tirelessly not only to bring Carly home to her family, but locate a kidnapper that we know now never existed. Many private citizens volunteered their time and energy into looking for a potential kidnapping victim that we know now was never in any danger. This story opened wounds for families whose loved ones really were victims of kidnappings, some of which even helped organize searches in hopes they could find Carly's alive so her family would not experience the pain and suffering that they felt when their loved ones never returned home. As we know, actions can have consequences, and that's why we're here today. This afternoon, Carly Russell, with the assistance of her attorney, turned herself into the Hoover City Jail, where she was arrested for the following charges: false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class A misdemeanor, $1,000 bond; falsely reporting an incident, a Class A misdemeanor with a $1,000 bond. Each of these charges carry up to a year in jail and potential fine of $6,000 upon conviction. Ms. Russell was released from jail after posting bond. We initially presented this case to District Attorney Lanice Washington, who agreed to handle prosecution through district court. After consulting with the Circuit Court of Jefferson County Bessemer Division, the case was referred back to municipal court for charging because the only applicable charges were misdemeanors. Judging from the amount of phone calls and emails that we've received from people all over the country, I know many are shocked and appalled that Ms. Russell is only being charged with 2 misdemeanors, despite all the panic and disruption her actions caused. Let me assure you, I too share the same frustration, but existing laws only allow the charges that were filed to be filed. I can tell you that I will be contacting our state legislatures on behalf of law enforcement in Montgomery and asking them to look at this law applied to these facts and urge them to add an enhancement to current legislation when somebody falsely reports kidnapping or another violent crime. Because of the attention this case has garnered, we've requested Attorney General Steve Marshall's office adopt this case and they've agreed to do so. The Hoover Police Department wants to thank everyone that assisted us from the beginning and continues to assist us in this case as we work its way through the criminal justice system.
All right. So there you go. Are y'all happy? Are y'all happy? She got arrested. She's charged with a couple misdemeanors. And what, now y'all want more. Y'all want more. That's not enough. It's not enough. They're disappointed that she was only charged with the 2 misdemeanors. Like, people wanted revenge. People wanted revenge. I'm not happy. I'm okay with it. I'm all right with it. But I'm still not happy. Anyway, I don't even really want to go into it. I'm not happy about it, but I'm okay with it. 2 misdemeanors. She turned herself in. I think I read where each one she faces up. Well, let me see. Hold on. Can I read this real quick? She surrendered 2 misdemeanors. The charges carry a bond of $1,000 each and are punishable by up to a year in jail and a $6,000 fine if convicted. She was released from jail after posting bond. So she faces maybe up to 2 years. Maybe. And I know some of y'all, she need to serve the whole 2 years. Hey, come on. Come on. Alonzo says she just made it bad for the next black girl who fakes a kidnapping. From now on, it's going to be a felony. The next anybody who fakes a kidnapping. But I'm okay with the misdemeanors. I can live with the misdemeanors. Jason said first time offense, low as hell bail, probation, and a fine. They probably owe her too. Walter say Karens can make false claims all day and nothing happens to them. Well, that's different. That's different. Man, you're so right. Many people want a lot more. They do. Daryl says there's a lot of white women who fake kidnappings and don't do jail time. There was a white woman who recently false claimed that her kids was kidnapped for Facebook likes and no one was outraged and said nothing. Yeah, but she's worse than everybody else because we talked about it. So there's that. All right, let me address Wyatt for just a moment. I don't know if Wyatt is here or not. I feel like he's probably not. I think he's in Vegas right now, spending a whole lot of money gambling and such. And Daryl says I was trolling. Wyatt earlier was talking about, I don't know how he transitioned to this real quick. He transitioned to it. And he was talking about the girl yesterday that we talked about, the nasty rapping girl. And how I said, y'all don't know what she was going to say to those kids. He said that I said that she was going to motivate them. That I said she was going to I didn't say that. What I said, and I still stand by this, we don't know what the girl was going to say. We don't know what she was going to do. We know what we saw. She came in, somebody said she was throwing up gang signs. She might have been. I'm not familiar with all the gang signs. I only know one. I would do it, but, I don't want to start no trouble. So I don't know what all the gang signs are. Somebody said she threw up gang signs. I didn't see that. But even if she did, I want somebody to come in here and tell me exactly what she was going to say. See, because if you don't know exactly what she was going to say, but you're telling me what she was going to say, we got a word for that. It's called assuming. You're assuming she was gonna do a thing. You're assuming she was gonna say a thing. And he said, look, his crowd, people who rock with him, who watch his show, they too smart for that. They too smart for that. They don't fall for that stuff. I'm like, fall for what? Asking people who state things as fact to actually know it as fact. That was my whole point yesterday is, again, he says, on his show, it's facts over feelings. It's facts over feelings. Factually, you can't tell me what she was going to say. She didn't get a chance to say it. You feel like she was going to say this. You feel like she was going to say that. You feel like she was going to do this. You feel like she was going to do that. But I thought it was facts over feelings. You can't factually tell me what she was going to do. So either you're facts over feelings or you're not. If you're not, stop saying it. Don't pretend you know. Don't pretend you know. Say, because it's not hard to say, this is what I think she was going to do. No, we know she was going to do. No, you don't. You don't. Your feelings over facts. It might even be a safe assumption, but it's still an assumption. And I actually didn't say that's what she was going to do. I said it's possible that she was going to go in there and tell those kids. See, that's a fact. It is possible, right? That's possible. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I really do like to look at my people. By my people, I mean, in this particular case, Black people. I like to look at my people and actually think the best of them. I like to look at my people and think the best of them. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm right. But I don't like to just automatically assume the worst about people. Even when they've shown, bad. I don't like to just automatically assume the worst. I don't. And if you're telling me this is what she was going to say, you're assuming. You're assuming. Tell me factually what she did. Tell me factually what she said. Do you have a receipt person? Do you have a receipt where she had a script written out that she was going to say, and you can tell me what she was going to say? So here, I got the script. So I don't just be talking. I got the script. Okay, then you might have me. You might have me there. You're not assuming. You got the details, exactly what she was going to say. Because if you don't, we call that assuming. And that's not facts over feelings. That's feelings in the absence of fact. I thought we didn't do that. So you mischaracterized what I said. Maybe you misunderstood what I said. Maybe you thought I said, this is what she was going to say. But I didn't. I said it's possible. It's possible that she was going to say this. And it's possible that she was going to motivate kids. Which is true. It's possible. Probable? I don't know. But possible. Definitely possible. So, he was making excuses. He was making excuses. What excuses did I hate it when people say, I'm making excuses. It don't make me mad. It don't make me mad. But I hate it when people say that about me. I very rarely make excuses. Yeah, I believe, notice how I said I believe, that, and this is the lie that Ben told about me, that I was making excuses for Carly Russell. I didn't make any excuses about her. None. It's not an excuse when you say this person was wrong. They should not have done that. And then you begin to speculate about the reasons why they did it. But that's not making excuses. And I mean, sometimes I'll be like, do y'all understand what an excuse, someone making excuses, what that is? Do y'all understand what that sounds like? Oh, Wyatt. Wyatt. Wyatt says, play her music real quick like you did the country song yesterday. Then we can all assume together what she was going to say. No, because we shouldn't assume. Or if we're going to assume, we shouldn't state our assumption as a fact. That's all I'm saying. That's what I was saying yesterday. That's what I'm saying now. Are we facts over feelings? Or are we feelings in the absence of fact? Because the fact is, you don't know what she was going to say. Now, if I came on your show assuming that some conservative meant this when they said that, you'd be like, that ain't what they said. No, just give us the facts. Facts. Come on, let's just be factual. And look, again, I don't know what she was going to say. She might have got up there talking about her booty hole and all that kind of stuff. But she might have got up there and, gave a little motivational speech to the kids. Is it possible? Is it possible that she could have done both? Y'all. I'm from here. I'm from right. I was sitting right where y'all sitting one day, and I was just thinking about rapping. And I paid attention in class, and I paid attention in English, and I paid attention in math, and that's why I am where I am right now. And you too can be where I am right now. You can do it just like I did it. All you got to do is pay attention in class. Now let's talk about my booty hole, and then hit the music. Is it possible she was going to do both? That's all I said. That's not a horrible thing. Look, we can disagree, because I disagree with her music. We can disagree with the lyrical content of her music and the suggestive content of her music and all of that kind of stuff, and without making her out to be an evil human. Irresponsible, in my opinion, yes. Bad for the culture, yes. And whether or not I would want her to be speaking to the little baby, I wouldn't. Whether or not I would want her to do it, so what? Again, that don't mean that she can't try to give a positive message. It don't mean that. That's all. Like, come on, let's just try to uplift each other. Like, I don't like her music. I don't like her persona. I didn't like the fingers, and I don't like the tongue sticking out and all of that kind of stuff. I don't like it. I'm not, because that was said as well. Oh, Emanuel was making excuses for old Sexy Red. I'm not. What excuses am I making? Do y'all not know what it means to make excuses? I'm not making no excuses. I just don't hate that girl. I don't hate that girl. I believe there's a really good chance that she has some redeeming qualities in her. And I'd like to think that maybe she would say something positive to students. Maybe. But again, if you can tell me factually that she wouldn't. If you can tell me factually that she wouldn't. She came through the door flipping the kids off and throwing gang signs. Look, I see, I don't know why we have to keep going through this. First, again, I don't know all the gang signs. I only know a couple. I won't do them here, but I only know a couple. I'm not a member of a gang, never have been. But I didn't see what I know to be a gang sign. So if you say she threw up a gang sign, then you believe she threw up a gang sign. I did see her, throwing up fingers. I did see that. But again, what I'm telling y'all is that that's one of them things that in particular I see young girls doing. Sticking their tongue out and throwing up. I see them do that all the time. Go somewhere where young people wilding with a video camera and drive by and hey, and when they see you, my guess is, and this is me guessing, about 50% of the girls, especially if they in a group, that's what they gonna do. The other 50% gonna turn around and show you they rear end. But 49%, maybe 1% of them just gonna be like, hi. But I'm telling you, that's just one of the things that they do. They don't, a lot of times, they don't mean anything negative by it. It's just something stupid that they do. So for her to come in doing that, it's just one of the things that they do. It's stupid. So y'all really believe what she was doing when she walked into that gym, what she was saying to all of the kids in the gymnasium, I hate y'all, fuck y'all. That's what y'all think? That's not reasonable. That's not reasonable. That's clearly not what she was doing. It's just something stupid that they do. Jerica says, question, why do you know any gang signs? I'm in my early 40s and have no knowledge of gang signs. I done seen enough stuff. I watch TV and I watch a lot of stuff on Vice and they, interview a lot of gangs and stuff like that and they throw up gang signs. That's why. That's why. Mary says they should ban stuff like that. Don't do it in public. Stop. They shouldn't ban stuff like that. First Amendment. You really want the government to ban giving the finger? This general fingorial expression, I don't know, gesture. This general fingorial expression, you want to be banned. You want it to be illegal to do this in public. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know that people think about it. I don't know that people think about what they saying when they say stuff. Ban it. What does that mean? That means there would be some law against it so that if you did it in public, you could be arrested and go to jail. So we want to see people go to jail for doing this. Really? You don't like it. I get it. You don't like it. I don't like it either. But it shouldn't be banned. It shouldn't be banned. Yes, that is the technical term. That is the technical term for it. But yeah, I try to think positive about people. I try. How do you know that for sure, E? How do I know what for sure? Those gang signs bring violence to situations. What are you asking me? How do I know what for sure? And again, y'all keep saying this stuff. What have I said about this that I know for sure? What have I said about it that I know? I can tell you this for a fact. Mary says, no, it's disrespectful, not the finger, the other stuff. What do you want there to be a law against that? In in this case, we're talking about what these young people do. What law do you want to create, and what should be the punishment? What law do you want to create, and what should be the punishment? Harassed. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Hold on. Let me do this. Okay. I'm pulling up something for y'all real quick. Hold on a second. It is First Amendment Friday. I didn't actually plan on showing this, but Mary, you brought it up, so I have to play this. It's First Amendment Friday. But hold on, before I do that, let me do this, because my flying key doesn't seem to be working. With the mask on and the flying key on. See, that's not where you're supposed to be. You are supposed to be, hold on. I got to move me around a little bit. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be a little bigger. Let me move me up a little bit. Oh, sorry, I have to show y'all how the sausage is made. I'm childish, y'all. Forgive me. Let's see. Keep going. You go there. Keep going. You go there. Move you there. And move you there. All right. All right. So let's show this to y'all. This is a preview, Mary, of your law. A preview of your law. First Amendment Fridays. Honor your oath, civil rights. That's the channel.
How you doing today, sir? I'm Corporal Emerson with the Commerce Police Department. You have your driver's license on you, please? All right, I stopped you because when you drove by me back there, you stuck your middle finger up the whole time you was driving by me. You think I didn't see you? I didn't see you. What was that for? I mean, is that against...
Now, hold on. Just so we clear, Mary, this is your law in effect. What did you stop me for? He said, I stopped you because when I drove past you, you put your middle finger up. So he pulled the guy over for giving him the finger. This is that law in practice. Let's keep going.
It's law? Well, it is a form of aggressive driving. Do you know what the Georgia statute of aggressive driving is?
You can't be a complaining party in that.
I can't be a complaining party in aggressive driving? Where is that written in the statutes?
You want to get your
I am a supervisor, just to let you know. Do you not see the stripes on my shoulder?
No, I didn't see you.
This is who you get. So
okay.
if you want to tell me what the statute is, go ahead and recite me what the statute is and tell me what the definition of... No, you don't need to. I'm asking you.
All I want to.
Okay.
See that right there?
You're driving a vehicle and you're distracted driving by doing that.
I was looking at the road. I can do this all day long, sir.
Okay.
See that? He's first it was aggressive driving. He tried to pass that off as aggressive driving. And now he's trying to pass it off as distracted driving. You gave me the finger. I pulled you over. He said, is that against the law? Well, it's aggressive driving. He said, no, I can give you the finger anytime. Well, if you're holding your finger up, that's distracted driving. Mary, this is your law.
Okay. So if you want to tell me, what did I do to deserve that kind of behavior? Okay, you do, technically.
I don't have to give you my ID because this is an unlawful stop.
It's not an unlawful stop.
100% unlawful stop. I can flip you off all day long.
Okay. All right. Why are you getting so mad? Like, what did I do to deserve that from you? Just tell me that. All of us deserve that?
Until I know different. Yep.
Like, all of us as law enforcement?
I was kidnapped and held for ransom for 2.5 years by cops.
What did I do?
Until
did I
the
do
jury
that?
of my peers set me free.
Okay, so what did I do to deserve that?
Or not. I will do this all day long if I want to.
Okay, you're not going to do it while you're driving. I'm just telling you right now.
You want to write me a ticket for it?
I can. I don't want to, though.
I dare you to write me a ticket. Look. License, insurance, registration's on the back. Write me a ticket, motherfucker.
See, look at the language that you got right now. Like,
write me a ticket.
All right, so you changed the whole thing by calling me a motherfucker. Can
I go in?
You cannot get out of the car.
Okay.
Don't get out of the car.
Get this shit over with.
Now you're sitting here talking.
You can't be a complaining party in a disorderly conduct.
I can't be a complaining party?
Cannot. I can cuss all day in front of you. There's no kids around. There's nobody else. You cannot be a complaining party in the state of Georgia on disorderly conduct.
Okay. Nobody said anything about disorderly conduct.
Well, you said I changed the stop. Write me a ticket.
You did, because now you're mad and you're calling me a motherfucker for no reason whatsoever.
You stopped me unlawfully. I can flip you off all day long.
Okay.
There it is again.
Like I'm saying to you, like I'm trying to educate you if you'd give me an opportunity to do that.
Education, obviously, Sarge.
Okay. So, all right, then let me know which part I need to educate on so that I can educate myself, seriously.
Anybody can flip you off. This is 100% the First Amendment.
Okay.
As I will sit here and do it with my car running and driving past you as I did. I do it all the time. I do it to state troopers just to see if a motherfucker is going to be stupid enough to stop me for it. Okay. So there it is. Write me my fucking ticket and let's get this stop over with. I'm home.
Okay.
I got fries here.
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back with you, okay?
Write my ticket.
All right, I'm going to fast forward through this. It's just him doing what he does. I got to get that app to cut out the commercials. And he's in the car. He calls for backup, though, by the way. He calls for backup because he's afraid. So we're going to get to that part. And
all right. So, very hostile. All right. So I wanted somebody here when I issued him the citation. So I pulled him over because he was driving by, looking at me, flipping me off when he drove by. So I followed him around to the traffic stop, talking about aggressive driving harassment, completely blew up on me. Like talking about all his amendment rights and I'm doing unlawful stops. He ain't got to give me IDs, all this craziness. And I was like, look, man, I didn't do anything to you. I just want to know it's like he won't hear anything, flipping me off in my face, calling me a motherfucker and all kinds of shit like that, wrapping my ticket, bitch, all kinds of So I just wanted somebody here when I go to give it to him because he's going to be fucking pissed. All right, sir. So you see I got a couple of people. It's just for our safety, all right? So look, I'm going to do as you said. I'm going to give you the ticket for aggressive driving. I went ahead and got a case number.
You're going to let him write me a ticket for flipping him off?
She's my sergeant.
Sergeant?
Yes.
You're going to let him write me a ticket for flipping him off?
Aggressive driving, yeah.
Aggressive driving.
Yep. Okay. So that's what I was trying. If you
it's
gave
not
me
aggressive driving, we'll see it in court.
Would you give me a second so I can explain it to you?
I don't need a second. Let me sign the shit and let's
go.
Right.
Let's so look, man, this is going to be my copy. I'll put an X right here for you. If you just go ahead and sign right there for me. All right. Now, this is not an admission of guilt, like I said.
Oh, shit.
So if you want to go to court, the court date's right here. The time, date, and address and everything is right there for you. And on the back right here is a website. If you want to view the ticket or whatever, the phone number for the police department's right there. Okay, if you have any questions. You'll see on there in the remarks column, I put the actual case number on there. There's a case number on top. The video from my body camera footage will be available. All you have to do is call the police department and talk to them. The lieutenant of patrol will be able to help you out, okay? All right.
I flipped you off.
All right.
I'll say it to you, body cam. I flipped them off.
All right. So here's your insurance card and all. All right, man. You have a good evening, all right? Well, I gave you your ID back. You got it. All right. Y'all have a good evening, sir. Have a good evening, man. Just don't get yourself in trouble, man. Just go on.
I can stand here all day long and do this.
All right.
Get the fuck out.
So look,
Kick rocks.
You're changing
Emerson,
this.
kick rocks.
You're changing the
You're
subject,
dismissed.
man.
You're dismissed. You're dismissed.
All right. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like when we start making stuff illegal, Mary. You can't make this stuff illegal. We don't like it. I get that. I don't like it. I don't like those lyrics. I don't like the finger. I don't like the tongue sticking out. If we was into doing that, let's make them dumbass eyelashes illegal. You know what I'm saying? No, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Yeah, court date for a middle finger. Court date for a middle finger. And I know there'll be people out there who feel like, well, he shouldn't have been giving him the finger. Why would he want to do that? Because he can. But the supervisor comes up and he says this for all of y'all who, because I talk about the police and how most of them are not good. See, that's the stuff I'm talking about. Any of them could have said to him, hold on, come over here. I don't remember his name. Come over here, officer. It's not against the law for him to give you the finger. That really doesn't count for aggressive driving. Just suck it up and let's go on about our way. Don't give him a ticket. Don't hold him up any longer. Don't harass him. Don't do any of that. Just give him back his ID and his insurance and let's leave. Either of those officers could have said that. But what did they do? They just backed up his bad behavior. Now, they weren't the ones doing the bad behavior initially. So you say, well, they didn't do it. They're not bad. But they saw it. And they should know it's not legal. They didn't stop it. Didn't they take an oath? They took an oath to defend the Constitution. They took an oath to defend that man's First Amendment right. His First Amendment, I was about to do this, but I did this, and then I was going to do that, and so I would have been saying two. They took an oath to defend that man's First Amendment right. They did not live up to that oath in that interaction. None of those officers. So are they all bad officers? Are they all bad? I'm legit. I'm asking y'all now. That's my question. If you see that interaction, and I saw at least 3 officers, but I think it was 4. The one writing the ticket, and I think 3 showed up for backup, but I could be wrong. I know for certain 2 showed up for backup, but I think it was 3. So let's just go with 3. One officer is violating that man's constitutional rights. The other 2 officers watch silently, or the one who is his supervisor backs him up. Well, he can give you a ticket for aggressive driving. Would you consider, first, I guess I have to ask, would you consider that first officer a bad police officer? Would you consider that first officer to be a bad police officer? Yes or no? Again, when I do this stuff, I'm trying to get a feel for how people perceive this. Would you look at that first officer, the one who was giving the ticket, the one who said, I pulled you over because when I drove by you, you was giving me the finger. Is that a bad officer? Because some people might say, well, I mean, he was in his feelings and yeah, he did that, but that don't necessarily make him a bad officer. He didn't kill nobody. I'm asking y'all. Jerica says yes. Yes, she would consider him a bad officer. Anybody else? Yes, no. Tria, yes, he's a bad officer. Janice says complete total waste of police time. A person can curse a police officer out all day. She said curse. I don't say cuss. Curse is different. It's not illegal. If a bystander says the vile language is annoying them, then the offender can be given a warning. All right. Scott says yes, bad officer. Daryl would like to be a fly on the wall. Yes, the first officer is a bad officer. All right. All right. Gloria says yes. All right. So the first officer is a bad officer. What about the supervisor? When he looked at the supervisor and he said to the supervisor, are you going to let him give me a ticket for, giving him the finger? And she said, yes, aggressive driving. Is she a bad officer, even though she's not the one giving the ticket? Jerica says yes. So we have two bad officers. Two bad officers. So that's the hypocrisy. They stick by the code of silence. Some call it stop snitching. They set the table. You got a warning for your Facebook comment. Don't comment to get you warnings. I want y'all all here. So absolutely. Supervisor's also a bad officer. Daryl says H, yes. Bad officer. Regina, yes. Bad officer. All right. Now, what about the officers who just stood there and didn't say anything? Are they bad officers? They're not his supervisor. And they're not the ones giving tickets. They're just there. He calls them for backup. They show up for backup. And they don't say anything. Even though they see what's going on and they should know, you can't just give somebody a ticket for, or, stop them and give them a ticket or whatever for giving the finger. Are the backup officers bad officers? Daryl says they're all bad officers. Okay. Look, I'm asking because I like to figure out where people stand. Because when I say most officers, people say, hey, most officers are good officers. They don't violate people's rights and they just, they're just doing their job. And I say, I believe most officers are bad officers. People go bonkers. The other officers just standing around are bad officers too, because they allowed the ticketing to go down even though it was unlawful. Okay. He told his supervisor he pulled him over for the finger. She should have said something at that point. Scott says, not if they don't have the facts. All right, let's deal with that. They're on the scene as backup, and he did tell them when they pulled up, I pulled this guy over because he gave me the finger, and then he's sitting there and he's calling me an MF, and he's just really aggressive. So they had enough facts to know he shouldn't have pulled him over. Angela wants to know, Angela, you asked me not to engage you. So I've been leaving you alone. I ain't been commenting on your stuff. I've been seeing stuff. And I try to honor, especially women when they ask me not to engage them, the whole Me Too thing. So you ask me not to engage you, I be trying not. But I assume that since you asking me a question, it's okay for us to engage again. So I'll answer the question. Maybe not. They may not be obligated by the law to stop the issuance of a citation. However, I would say they're obligated by their oath because they take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution, which to me, maybe it doesn't mean this to them, but to me, that means to defend my constitutional rights against government overreach and other people violating my rights, including other law enforcement officials. If you take an oath and we pay you to defend our constitutional rights, when you see a violation of our constitutional rights, you're obligated by your oath to step in and defend my constitutional rights. So while they may not be obligated by the law to stop the issuance of that citation, I would say they're duty bound by their oath to step in and stop any violation of my constitutional rights. And especially, he was already at home. Like I saw somebody, I don't remember who it was, somebody said, I would ask him if I'm being detained, and if not, I would drive off. He was at home. He followed him home. He pulls into his, I'm going to say driveway, if you consider that a driveway. But he pulls into his driveway, and that's when he lights him up. That's when he light him up. And tell him, I pulled you over because you gave me the finger. So yeah, and then he told him, don't get out the car. Can I get out the car? He told him, I got my bags here. I'm home. I got my bags here. Don't get out the car. And I don't know if anybody else viewed this. This is just my thoughts, my opinion. This is not fact. This is just my feeling. I felt like the other big cop that was there, I don't know why. He looked like that kind of cop who just waiting for something to happen so he can beat somebody down. That's what he looked like to me. I could be wrong. But it's what he looked like to me. I know that ain't fair. That ain't fair, man. You don't know that cop. This guy, he looked to me like, oh, I wish he would say something out of line. What? He gave you the finger? He called you a MF? I hope he say something out of line. I hope he get out the car when you tell him not to, or get in the car when you tell him to get out. I hope he do something wrong. I could be wrong for that. But that's just what that cop looked like. That's the kind of cop that cop looks like to me. He followed him home over a middle finger. Yes, he followed him home. I know that adds a little more context to it, because you think, he's just on the side of the road. Nah, he was home. He was home. Stephanie says, that's how most officers look to me. Well, Preston says, yeah, they good for that. Light you up before you can get out the car. But I look, again, I ask these questions. And look, don't feel pressured. Like, if you don't agree with whatever the popular opinion is. That was one of the other things Wyatt said. I'm not going back. I'm bringing this up for a reason. That was one of the other things Wyatt said. Did most people agree with you when you said that stuff about what Sexy Red was going to say to the kids? And I say, I don't care. I don't care if nobody agrees with me when what I'm saying I believe to be right. Everybody can be wrong, and I'll be the one that's right. Everybody can disagree with me. I'll be the one standing on principle. So you be that person. If you hearing what we're saying, and you like, no, man, these dudes is out of line. Like, they out of order. They creating a terrible situation. No, that cop wasn't wrong. Or no, them ain't bad cops. Please feel free to say it, and then we'll have the discussion, and maybe we'll get a better understanding of, your perspective, and hopefully we'll give you a better understanding of our perspective, and you will come to see the light because we're right. And you'll come to understand how right we are. Let's see. Fame says there is only one reasonable position on Sexy Red at the school for the children. What would that position be, Fame? Stephanie says, I don't trust any of them, just for the reason what those officers displayed, not speaking up when they're wrong. And I think if more officers spoke up when they saw wrongdoing, by other officers, things could get better. Things could get better. I don't see that happen. And again, I watch a lot of these. Let me see. This one I didn't watch. This one is called The Civil Rights Lawyer. The Civil Rights Lawyer. He's a lawyer. He's a civil rights lawyer. I believe he's out of West Virginia. Let me see if I can pull this one up. It's First Amendment Fridays. We do this on Fridays. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you, Sierra. I can see the chat. Y'all can't see the chat. My bad. All right. Hold on. Let's see if we can get this one up. This is from the Civil Rights Lawyer. And of course, I'll play his entire, or probably play his entire thing. Probably play his entire piece. The Civil Rights Lawyer. He has a channel on YouTube. That's the name of it. The Civil Rights Lawyer. I like to give them credit if I'm playing their video. I like to give them credit. Oh, let me see. Can I get this one up here? Get that there. Get me here. Hi, Civil Rights Lawyer. We go full screen with it. Unmute it. Mary brought all of this on. Mary wanted to make it illegal to give the finger. Mary saying, I never said it should be illegal. You kind of said it should be illegal. Well, let's play the clip.
For giving the middle finger to a police officer. Check it out. You're not going to believe how it ended.
24 March break, 75.
Charlotte Angle, Martin City Police Department. What's the middle finger? Is that a certain hand signal that you got to give away?
Just that.
Just to do it?
Because I want to.
All right, where's your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance? Driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
Is that why you pulled
Yes, driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
I
can. You're in the middle of a traffic stop. Listen, driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
So you pull me
improper hand display. Driver's license, registration.
Hand display.
If I have to say it one more time to provide me with the documents, I'm going to place you under arrest.
Under arrest for what?
Get out.
They are mad. He gave him
On
the
February
finger.
10th, 2023, Corey Lambert was driving down the road and he gave the middle finger to a police officer who was driving by. That police officer then, in response to the middle finger, initiated a traffic stop. This occurred in Martinsburg, West Virginia. The officer was Kobe Engel from the Martinsburg Police Department. Here's what he wrote in his report. I witnessed a white male driver, later identified as Corey Lambert, driving a Chevy pickup truck traveling eastbound on Mall Drive. When I passed Corey, I witnessed him giving an improper hand signal prior to turning left onto Mall Access Road. I then turned around and initiated my emergency lights and sirens and conducted a traffic stop in the parking lot of Grand Home Furnishings on Mall Loop.
20th March, I'm going to be 1037. Here in front of the Grand Home Furnishing, West Virginia 28. Go ahead. 32 Victor 709, 32 V 709.
When I approached Corey, I advised to him the reason for the stop. Corey later stated that he was not indicating his direction of travel in his vehicle with his hand signaling, and that he was simply giving me the middle finger.
24 March break, 75.
Charlotte Angle, Martin City Police Department. What's the middle finger? Is that a certain hand signal that you got to give away?
Just that.
Just to do it?
Because I want to.
All right, where's your driver's license, registration, proof of insurance? Driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
Is that why you pulled
Yes, driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
Due to this being a municipal violation of hand and arm signals 339.10, I then asked Corey multiple times for his driver license, registration, and proof of insurance. He told me multiple times that he didn't have to provide me with these documents.
I can. You're in the middle of a traffic stop. Listen, driver's license, registration, proof of insurance.
So you pull me over.
Improper hand display.
At this time, Patrolman First Class Borsquat told Corey again that if he didn't provide us with these documents, that he would be placed under arrest. Corey continued to not comply with our demands.
Driver's license,
and
registration.
display.
If I have to say it one more time to provide me with the documents, I'm going to place you under arrest.
Under arrest for
Oh,
what?
he
Get
wanted
out.
fight. He wanted
Corey was
fight.
then placed under arrest at this time and transported back to the Martinsburg City Police Station for processing.
Get out of the car.
You're violating my rights. You know that, right?
Get your shit up, have him down. Slide back in. Kick your feet apart.
That's my constitutional right to do freedom of speech. What's your name?
Send for a record. Let's go.
You know this ain't gonna stick, right? Is your body cam on? Is it?
In.
Ow, man!
And all the way.
But first, just real quick, thank the sponsor of this video, Factor, by watching the sweet ad that I made. Too busy to cook this spring with hand signals and 2 counts of obstruction. Then, because the charges were municipal below, and use code TCRL50 to get 50% off your first Factor box. Believe it or not, Corey was then held on a cash-only bond for 4 days and 3 nights following his arrest. He was charged with municipal violations of improper hand signals and 2 counts of obstruction. Then, because the charges were municipal, instead of a real court and a real judge, it went to a municipal court, which, so they told us on the phone, claims not to be a, quote, court of record, and as such, apparently keeps no paperwork. But they told us that the result of the case was that the improper signaling charge, which doesn't appear to be a crime at all, was dismissed. 1 count of obstruction was dismissed, and he was convicted on 1 count of obstruction.
So we're 95.
Y'all need anything, you good? I parked in the parking lot. Stupid.
Just because I felt like it, I'm staying on.
No, I am. Is he coming? You took the keys or what?
No.
Let's have Harper stand by for lessons.
Yep. What was that?
Fucking stupid.
Hey, you got your cigarette money? See, just because of that.
You,
I hate that they mute the
He said, no, just because I felt like it, I'm staying on. You ready? Now.
let's have Harper stand by for lessons.
What am I being arrested?
2311. Can you actually slide by here, please, if you don't mind? Just because we got to leave the keys with the vehicle.
Yep. That's what I was asking.
So then the officers apparently together conspired to turn off the audio of their body cam while leaving the video running. Since we can't hear what they're saying, I'll just speed up the rest of it. And then we can discuss the really, really tricky question of whether it's illegal to give the middle finger to a police officer.
I'm going to step out. Hey, you got your cigarette money?
protections of
Sick of all the ads, like this one?
Yeah, I'm sick of all the ads.
the First Amendment are not limited to just spoken words, but rather they include gestures and other expressive conduct, even if vulgar or offensive to police officers. For example, Cone versus California, 1971, U.S. Supreme Court, it held that an individual wearing a jacket that had the words F the draft, the full word, the Supreme Court held that an individual wearing that jacket in a courthouse corridor could not be prosecuted for disturbing the peace. Consistent with that precedent, although the gesture generally known as giving the finger is widely regarded as an offensive insult, not just to police officers, it is a gesture that is generally protected by the First Amendment. There's a couple big cases out there. I will put those in the blog post. But they hold this. Any reasonable police officer would know that a citizen who raises his middle finger engages in speech protected by the First Amendment. A plaintiff raising his middle finger at a police officer is a rude and offensive gesture, the court says, but nonetheless, under federal current precedent, it's a constitutionally protected speech activity. And I found this really great law review article that goes all through the history and the nuances of the law of giving the police the middle finger. But the point is there's really no question at all that you have a constitutionally protected right to give the middle finger to police officers. But if police officers are going to pull you over for that, they can't admit that. They can't document evidence on their body cam that that's why they pulled you over, because that would be an illegal and unconstitutional stop. And if they do an illegal and an unconstitutional stop, they have no right to detain you. And if they have no right to detain you, what can they not do? They cannot force you to ID yourself, to give your registration and proof of insurance. And if they can't do that, what else can't they do? They can't arrest you for obstruction for not doing it quickly enough. But what was this really? We know what this was. This was a classic case of First Amendment retaliation. The police officers did not like being given the middle finger, so they decided to abuse their authority and abuse the Constitution, abuse the trust that has been placed in them as police officers that are sworn to uphold the law. And they used the law or misused the law for their own personal malicious purposes of getting payback on this person who dared give them the middle finger, and clearly set up a bogus obstruction arrest, even if it was a justified stop, pulled them out harder than they had to, put them in handcuffs when they didn't need to, shoved them in really hard, set up a cash bail sort of situation where they probably intended for him to be in jail for up to 3 days, just for giving the cops a middle finger. Imagine having that kind of power to abuse. So this guy, Corey Lambert, came to me and he told me this story. And so I FOIA'd the footage and I just got it a couple days ago. And sure enough, it was just like he said. And you always know that the footage you get via FOIA is going to be really good when it comes on the letterhead of a big law firm. So clearly, when somebody with some brains saw this footage, they knew that they were going to have a problem. So I am going to represent him. And we are going to file a big lawsuit here. So be looking for updates. Make sure to subscribe both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com if you want to follow along. And look at other cases such as videos I've done on similar cases, flashing lights at the police or wearing a F the police t-shirt, I think was one of them. A bunch of different ones. So remember, freedom is scary. Deal with it.
All right. That's the civil rights lawyer. Yes, they are filing a lawsuit. They are filing a lawsuit. He spent 4 days in jail, 3 nights for giving the finger. Yes. 4 days, 3 nights for giving someone the finger. Why did they turn off the audio? That's what's wrong. That's wrong. What are they hiding? I look at most police officers like a cat looks at a goldfish in a bowl. They shouldn't be allowed, but different police departments, jurisdictions, I guess, have their own separate rules for what officers can do with their body cams, when they have to have them on. That's a matter of their policy. That's not a matter of law. There's no law that they have to have body cams. So that's a matter like if CPD, they have body cams. They came up with a policy. So either officers are allowed to activate or deactivate, mute or not mute their body cams. It's spelled out in their policy. And what may be in Cincinnati's policy, I'm going to say Mount Healthy. I don't even know if they have body cams. Mount Healthy's policy might be totally different. North College Hill's policy might be different than all of those because they're allowed to make up their own policies. They're allowed to make up their own policies with who can do what with body cams. So yeah, that's Mary. I know, Mary, you're saying you're not saying that giving the finger should be illegal, but people, but you did kind of say it, but there are a lot of people who kind of feel that way. Like, I'm offended by that. That shouldn't be legal. This is what you'll run into if you begin to make First Amendment speech illegal. Preston says, but I must add, I would never provoke the police. For what? Why put myself through the unnecessary hassle? I would. I've done it. And I haven't run across a police officer who arrested me for it. Sometimes it's one of the things that you hear a lot when you watch First Amendment audits. One of the reasons why they do that is because they say, your rights are like muscles. And if you don't use them, you will lose them. They will deteriorate. And if people didn't do stuff and law enforcement didn't overreact or whatever, then a lot of this case law that exists wouldn't exist. It would have never been settled that giving the finger is protected by the First Amendment. So there have to be, I'm not saying that you should, Preston, but there have to be people who are willing to go out and test the Constitution. They have to be willing to go out and test the Constitution. I'd say think of it like your smoke detector. You're supposed to test that thing every once in a while. Otherwise, how do you know it's going to work when you need it? It's just up there. It ain't beeping. So it must be working. No, you're supposed to test it every once in a while. And there are people, again, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. It's for some people. Some people test it more than others. Some people a little less, and some people not at all. Stephanie says they don't have body cams. Wow. Then they can say anything happened. A lot of smaller departments don't have body cams. Like what's the one little department? I don't know if they ever got them. The little department up there. I'm having a hard time. They had an issue with the red light cameras. They had an issue with the red light cameras, and then they had to give that money back to people. I can't think of what the area is called, but they didn't have body cams. They didn't have Elmwood. Yeah. I know Elmwood didn't have body cams. Sheila says, be very careful. Testing your rights could get you killed. You would be dead right. And some people are willing. These people never get credit. But that's what Dr. Kingdon was doing. They were exercising their rights. They were testing the Constitution. And yes, a lot of people got killed. They were dead right. And for whatever reason, people really tend to only appreciate it afterwards, and usually a long time afterwards. People don't appreciate people who because I look at the people who are out there doing First Amendment audits, who a lot of people look at them and they're like, they're just trying to be provoked and they're just trying to do this and they're just trying to do that. I'm like, them people are putting their life on the line. Them people are putting their life on the line for us, for our rights. people don't see it that way because it's not as, sexy as Dr. King in there. You just some dude standing out there with a camera. Say, yeah, whatever. Y'all ain't singing We Shall Overcome. But they are. Anthony says, I ain't willing to die for my finger rights yet, E. And that's fine. Again, everybody's not going to do it. It's only, typically you only get like a handful of people who are willing to risk their lives for the masses. And typically there's a huge part of the masses who hate the people who are putting their lives on the line for them because they don't understand it, because they may not agree with it or whatever. Like I hear a lot of people, bash Al Sharpton and all of those guys. I don't agree with everything that they do, and them dudes is putting their lives on the line. And if you really believe that, like, police don't, let me tell you, I watch these guys. These just really independent, small dudes with cell phones walking into, I don't know, post offices or police stations or city halls just with a phone to record. And sometimes some little dude, well, he won't even be in his city, and he just be in City Hall, and they come up to him. They already know his name. They already know his address. I don't even live here, but you know my name and my address? If the police already know my name and my address, I'm in danger if I'm doing things that they don't like. And some of these guys, there's in particular, Amanda Audi or whatever her name is. She's had her children taken from her. Yeah, they sent the Child Protective Services. They took her kids from her. They park outside her house all times of the day and night just to intimidate her. Her life is on the line. Acura Amanda, I believe it is. Her life is on the line. Because they don't like what you're doing. And all she's doing, think about that. You have law enforcement officials ready to arrest you because you walk into a place with a camera. They conspire against you. They take your kids from you. They park outside your house all times of the night, not for protection, but for intimidation, because you hold a camera somewhere that they don't like. These are people putting their lives on the line. And these are little people who nobody should know. You don't know who Acura Amanda is. Well, what do you think Al Sharpton is going through? You don't really think that he's graduated from all of that. Trust, Al Sharpton get death threats. And there are black people who don't appreciate, and again, I get it. You might not agree with some of the stuff that he stands for. You might not even understand his positions. And some people, well, but he get paid for it. He just trying to, but. And again, maybe it's just me. I believe. I try to think the best of people. So, all right, Sharpton, you out there doing what you're doing. I don't agree with this issue, and I don't agree with the way you're approaching it. But I believe Al Sharpton's heart is in it to look out for people, the us. Other people too. As you know, sometimes our activists like to take the moral high ground, and we can't just stand up for black people. We got to stand up for all people. Well, okay, I get that. But there's going to be a section, and I'm just talking about black people. There's going to be a section of black people. I'm standing up for black people And there's a section of black people that hate me for standing up for them. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. It's just the way everything go down. There were people who hated black people, who hated Dr. King for advocating for black people. So just understand, it's gonna happen. Now, I don't think anybody is, above criticism. You can criticize whoever. But there are people with like very strong and hateful feelings towards, you name a civil rights leader. You name a person that advocates for black people, for black liberation, for black equality, for, anything for black people, guaranteed you can find some black people who hate them because of their advocating for black people. And I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But it make them seem, yeah. Like, oh, he's enlightened. He don't like this black leader. Oh man, he's so powerful. He don't like that black leader. Oh, he the only one willing to tell the truth about his dislike for this black leader. It's gonna be out there. It's gonna be out there. Black Lions say, I run into those self-hating black people all the damn time. There is something out there. I don't know what it is, but there is something out there where there's a certain class of black person who feels like they have to stress to black people that whatever you're going through ain't so bad. And if people are telling you that what you're going through is bad, they just trying to manipulate you because you could be like me. I'm rich, you could be rich. I'm successful, you could be successful. And if you saying racism or oppression or any of that kind of stuff is going on, then you brainwashed. They'll later admit, well, yeah, racism exists. But anybody trying to fight racism is brainwashed into believing that racism is the problem. And I don't understand that mindset. I promise y'all, I don't understand that mindset. I made it. You should have made it. Racism didn't stop me, so it ain't stopping you. Anybody who agree with that, they brainwashed. They ain't dealing with the real issue. They ain't coming to you with solutions. They ain't, and they don't like people advocating for black people. Even though they think they're advocating for black people. They're advocating for black people by telling black people to not like the other people who are advocating for them in a way that might be helpful to them. And I always think when I hear it, I always think, look, you actually have a point. People can persevere and overcome. It happens. There are plenty of examples of it happening. So you can look at those examples and you can say, I can do it too. And you can try. That's one side of it. But there's also people who are like, for real, oppressed by a system. And just because you overcame in spite of that system, don't mean everybody can do what you did. That's just the truth. It's the truth. No, anybody can do this. No, they can't. Maybe more can than think they can. That I'll give you. For some people, because some people do not succeed because they don't put in the work to succeed. That's a real thing. But that ain't everybody. That ain't everybody. And then those people usually don't respect the people, or at least they don't show them respect to the people who are out there. And, I kind of say on the ground level fighting. Like, I'm saying? You up here fighting, I can use some of your tactics maybe, once I attain a certain level. But if they holding me down to this level and you talking about, use the banking system to your advantage, go in and get a loan. I can't get a loan. For whatever reasons. I need somebody advocating. I can't, I'm being redlined out of where I want to be, housing wise. I'm being discriminated against. Believe it or not, all of that stuff happens. All of that stuff happens. So I can't, you know what I'm saying? Oh, the millionaire telling me how to connect with other millionaires. Oh, it's so easy. Anybody can do this. What? You walk into, and you say, I want the presidential suite, and then they recognize you, and then you treat them well, and then they remember you. And, you can do that too. I can't walk in and ask for the presidential suite. They're not going to remember me because I'm not asking for the presidential suite. I can't afford the damn presidential suite. Yeah, they going to remember you. You could do it too. I can't. I don't have the resources that you have. I don't. All I did was walk in. I wasn't trying to, front and be fly and all of that kind of stuff. And I just walked in and I told them I wanted the presidential suite. I wanted the whole top floor. The next time I came back, they remember who I am. Yeah. That's the nigga that wanted the whole top floor. Yeah, they remember you. It's about relationships. Yeah, it's about relationships. Yes. But who remembering the nigga that said, what's the cheapest room you got? You know what I'm saying? What's the cheapest room you got? I need the cheapest room you got. Close to an elevator. That's what I need. All right, here we go. Thank you, sir. I can compliment her eyes all day. I can tell her, you look like a wonderful person. I can tell him, oh, you know what I'm saying? You got a strong personality. I can shake his hand, dap him up. When I leave, he ain't thinking about me. That's just so yeah, that stuff sound easy to people, with resources and stuff like that. And I'm not hating on you if you got the resources, cool. But don't make it sound like it's that easy. If they remember me, I remember. I got remembered. I got remembered at a car shop. Now I'm picking with Wyatt just a little bit. Because Wyatt, he got on air. He got on air. And he called, I guess something had happened with his vehicle and he called the shop and they remembered him and, I'm going to buy y'all lunch and everything. And it was really nice. It was a good gesture and all of that good stuff. And he's saying, yeah, it's about relationships. And I'm like, yeah. And it took me back to, when I was younger and my Chevette. Yes, I'm back to the Chevette. My Chevette, I was driving and my daddy was driving behind me. And I didn't experience anything wrong. And my daddy, hit the bright lights, which basically meant pull over. And because this was, we didn't have cell phones and stuff. Actually, he did have a car phone. But he told me pull over. And he was like, you need new shocks. And I'm like, okay. Why you mad at me? Like, I didn't know I needed new shocks. We going over here to this Midas. We went to Midas. So we, he told him, need shocks on this car. All right. And they got up in there and they was like, man, these shocks is shot. Oh, this is horrible. And they fixed them and, we thanked them and all of that kind of stuff. And then when the floorboard of my car fell out, it's a true story. When the floorboard of my car fell out on the highway during a rainstorm, I'm driving, just, chilling in the vet, listening to my sounds, my beats up. That's funny because they wasn't no real bees. And it's raining, and out of nowhere, right here, where this mic is, like a geyser of water just starts shooting up. Out of just, I was wet. I was soaking wet. It was right before you get, I'm going North 75, right before you get to the Galbraith exit. Water just streaming up. And I'm like, oh my God. And I, pull over and I look and there's a hole. I can see the ground. I pull over. I go ahead and I get off on Galbraith, make the right-hand turn. Go to that Midas or Meineke. I think it's Midas. The one, if I'm turning down there, it's on the left-hand side. Go in there. That was where I had gone to get those shocks fixed. I pull in. I'm soaking wet. And they like, can we help you? I'm like, I don't know if y'all fix this type stuff or not, but I could see the floor under my feet. And they looked, and I could tell they wanted to laugh, but they were trying to be professional. They didn't laugh at me, but they were like, we don't do that. We don't do that. And then one of the dudes was like, I remember you the one who came in with them. I don't remember if he said effed up or messed up. I'm going to give him the messed up shocks. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, we can't help you with this though. And I know they got a good laugh out of it. That's how they remembered me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I imagine it would have been a whole different experience had I rolled in a Mercedes. Like, oh, I need you to fix a flat tire for me. Just plug that leak. All right, I'm going to buy y'all lunch. Oh, y'all, this is such a thank you. Different level. You know what I'm saying? And again, this ain't hate. I think what Wyatt did was great. And yeah, they remembered him. They remembered that Mercedes and fixing that Mercedes. But their remembrance of me was different. I didn't come in a Mercedes. I came in a beat up Chevette. And they didn't really remember me until I came back in with the beat up Chevette, all soaking wet. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. It's different levels. It's different levels. I was mad. I was embarrassed. And more than anything, I was wet. So I just got in my car and slowly drove home and took off them wet clothes and talked to my dad. And he knew somebody who did some welding or something like that. And they did whatever to the bottom of the car. And the dude was like, I remember this. Dude was like, you are lucky. I'm like, lucky what? He's like, this whole floorboard is rotted through. You could have the seat could have just dropped out the bottom of this car while you were driving. I'm like, I didn't know. So yeah, it's, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. See how they remember me? Remember, you heard him? He said, you was the dude with the Mercedes. They might remember that. The dude with the Mercedes who said he was going to buy us lunch. Yeah, we remember you. The dude with the raggedy Chevette that needed shocks real bad. They might or might not remember you. And it's not going to be that same remembrance. They probably did. I'm funny. There was nothing funny about that. Look, you driving up 75, I was probably speeding because I speed. I was probably speeding, and for real, just water. It was a geyser. And when I tell you I was soaking wet, like wet. I did not get a golden shower. No. All right, y'all. I'm supposed to actually be somewhere right now. So I got to get off this line. But it is not funny, Stephanie. There is nothing funny about that. If it ever happened to you, I'm not going to be laughing. I'm not going to be laughing. I hope it never happens to you. I hope it never happens to you. I hope it never happens to anyone. But I legit didn't know that there was, anything going on. Believe it, when I eventually, I had to buy another car. And the first thing I check now when I buy a used car, even to this day, first thing I check when I buy a used car, let me check out that floorboard. And them dealers be thinking I'm crazy. Like, oh, we got this car, blah, 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 blah. And I'll be like, all right. And I get up under the, go to look under the car, and they like, is everything all right? I'm like, I'm checking the floorboard. Like, you what? Yeah, I'm checking the floorboard. That floorboard got to be solid. That is the first thing that I check on a used car when I'm looking at used cars. When my daughter was looking for a car, first thing I checked, let me look at them floorboards. Let me look at it. I get up under there. I look at them. I knock on them. I take a screwdriver and poke at them. What are you doing? Making sure that the floorboards is good. Because I'm still traumatized. I'm still traumatized. It's not funny. It's not funny. Not at all. And I'm just saying, what's great advice for one group of people might not fit another group of people's situation. It might not fit their situation. That's it. That's it. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on this First Amendment Friday. I think that's about it. Have a great weekend. I believe I'll see everybody Monday. I'm telling you, I believe I'll be here on Monday. But if something come up, I'll put it on Facebook. So, keep an eye out for it. But I believe I'll be here on Monday. Until next time, I hope you have a great weekend. Hope something amazingly positive and life-changing happens to you by the end of the weekend, all right? It's been the Afternoon Experiment. My name is Emanuel Livingston. Till next time, I'm out, y'all. Peace.